Thank you for volunteering your time at the Medford Pear Orchard of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. These pears will be distributed across the world and are intended for those in need. As a volunteer, one of the most important skills you should develop is learning to harvest the right pears. Good pears are harvested for canning, while small pears are left on the tree. Every soul is great in the sight of God, but contrary to popular belief, not every pear is worthy of a can. Watch this scene from the movie Elf. Harvesting pears is a lot like the buttons on Buddy's elevator. We should only pick the pears that we need and leave the others alone. If we pick every pear simply because they're there, it slows the entire harvest down and causes problems in the canning factory. Lean manufacturing practitioners call this waste, which is something we want to avoid. Let's not be like Buddy the Elf and push all the buttons or pick all the pears. Picking pears is easy. Simply lift the bottom of the pear and it comes right off the tree. If Bartlett pears are picked when they are too hard, they will not ripen properly. If too soft, they will bruise during transportation and burst apart as they go through the rigors of the canning equipment. These pears must be picked when their hardness is between 21 and 16 pounds as measured on a penetrometer. Pears also have to be the right diameter in order to fit on the automated canning equipment. There's an optimal harvest window for picking pears within the right firmness and size. In the cannery, volunteers must inspect every piece of fruit on a conveyor belt and discard the pears that are too small, too large, or oddly shaped. Discarded pears, or culls, end up in a dumpster. Just right pears are processed in automated equipment that cores, peels, removes the seeds, and then cuts the pears into halves. Here is what a finished product looks like. Pears should be picked when their diameter is over 2 1/4 inches, the exact size of this ring. Pears should just barely fit through or be larger. Leaves, sticks, and other foreign objects in the bins make processing more difficult. The reason we discard small pears is because they don't fit into the cups that are designed to hold the pears in place while the peeling, coring, and cutting tool processes these pears. Picking pears is simply removing every fruit from the tree. Harvesting pears, on the other hand, means making good judgment about what fruit goes into a can to feed those in need. Now that we know the production process and what's needed for a quality end product, let's discuss how we can make good judgments as harvesters so the production process can be streamlined. The first principle is to understand that every pear does not get picked. We're harvesting pears to go into cans for those in need. If a pear is too small for the processing equipment, do not waste your time picking it. We do not need to strip every pear off the trees. They will fall to the ground naturally. Second, before you begin harvesting, go to the sign-up table where the welcoming committee will show you proper sized pears. Find the smallest pear that does not fit through the sizing ring. This pear should measure 2 1/4 inches. Anything smaller than 2 1/4 should not be picked. Once you have that pear in your hand, grab it at its widest circumference with your thumb and longest finger, or whatever finger you're most comfortable with. For some people, their finger and thumb will touch. For others, there will be a gap between their thumb and longest finger. This gap will vary from person to person because everyone's grip is different. Measure the gap with 1, 2, or 3 of your fingers from your opposite hand. This will be your personal gauge for measuring the size of pears. If a pear is smaller than this, do not pick it, or at least drop it on the ground. It's better to discard small fruit rather than spend the time or money shipping it to Garden City, only to have them throw it away. Picking properly sized pears prevents problems within the canning factory and reduces total harvest time. In 2023, the equivalent of 103 bins of pears were thrown away. That's over 760 labor hours. Third, discard unusual pears with significant dents or are oddly misshapen. Misshapen pears won't peel properly and tend to jam the canning equipment and require extra labor at the canning factory. Use care when moving pears within a bin. Gently release your bucket of fruit. Don't let them drop from your bucket more than a couple of inches. Fill the bins to the top, but do not overfill. Don't leave partial bins. Everyone can learn the art of judging pears. It's easy. Pear trees don't need to be stripped of all of their fruit. Learn to pick the right size pears. Leave the small ones on the trees. Avoid extremely misshapen pears. As we increase our harvest skills, not only will we decrease the total harvest time, but we'll also decrease the labor needed in the canning factory. They will love us. Please share these simple methods with your harvest buddies. Invite your friends to join us. If you see someone who needs training, kindly teach them the principles of proper pear harvesting. Thank you for your time and consideration. May the Lord bless you for your efforts. We look forward to seeing you in the orchard.